tons and tons of people use wire flooring for the rabbits, but does that mean that it actually is good for the rabbit? Keep watching to find out. In my opinion, wire flooring is not good and you should never use it. Now, when I first got Giselle, I had a cage with wire flooring, and at the time I did not know that wire flooring wasn't good. The cage was mostly wire flooring, however, she did have an area that was just wood. Shortly after I got her, I learned that wire flooring is bad. It can cause sore hocks, which it actually did cause sore hocks for Giselle. She is still recovering from them, which that was a couple years ago. So she still hasn't totally recovered from them. She still has some skin that is showing, but she's much better now. But I definitely regret using wire flooring. It was just terrible. After I learned that it did cause sore hocks, I started covering it. So I sometimes would cover the wire with hay, other times I would cover it with towels or wood or cardboard, pretty much anything I could find to try to get her off of that wire, because sometimes it would get so bad to where it would actually bleed a little bit, and you definitely don't want that to happen. So that is one of the really big reasons you don't want to use wire flooring. Now, wire flooring won't necessarily cause sore hocks on all rabbits. For some rabbits, they have thicker fur on their feet, and so it doesn't cause sore hocks as soon for them. Some, it will never bother their feet that much. It will never cause sore hocks. Others, it won't first off, but it'll, after a while, eventually will. Now, wire is not the only cause of sore hocks. It is one of the main causes of sore hocks, but they still can be caused by other things. But wire is a really big cause of sore hocks. So if you don't want your rabbit to have sore hocks, which I mean, why would you? Then don't use wire flooring. Another thing with wire flooring is that it can become very gross and it can be very hard to clean. It is very, very hard to wash. And who wants to go wash their wire? I mean, that's just not really fun at all. So, I mean, who wants to put up with that? Why do that when you can just have other flooring that's so much easier to clean? So most of you probably know what sore hocks are, but in case you didn't, sore hocks is when your rabbit, basically, they lose the fur on part of their back foot, and it can probably happen in the front feet too, but not as often. And so they lose some of the fur in an area, and the skin becomes inflamed and red. Sometimes it becomes infected, and that can be very dangerous. So, no, you should not be using wire flooring. Now, some of you may have a cage with wire flooring, and you may be wondering, well, what should I do now? Well, the first thing you can do is just cover it. If you don't have something that you can cover the entire cage with, at least give them a good resting spot where they can lay their whole body on to get completely off of that wire, until you can cover all of that wire. So you can use towels. I would recommend using something that's kind of padded. Maybe you could put some hay down and then put like a towel on top of that, or some fleece or something. You can fold some fleece so you have like a double layer of it, but you want to make sure you're really getting them off of that wire, because it's just really painful for them to be walking on. I mean, imagine us walking on wire. It hurts. So it's the same for your rabbit, because they don't have, the bottom of their foot is the skin is very thin, and a lot of bunnies don't have a ton of fur there, so you really don't want to be putting them on that wire. So if possible, get rid of the wire completely. A lot of cages that have wire are actually too small anyway. Those cages you see in pet stores are really too small. You may have seen in my previous videos, you may have seen the little cage I have, which I use for Rencel if I need to move her or something, but I never ever house her in there because it's way too small. And those are actually the kind of cages you're going to see advertised for rabbits in pet stores, and they're way too small. If you are housing your rabbit in that, you definitely need to consider getting a larger cage for them. If they're outdoors, they really shouldn't be in that anyway. You can get them a large hutch outdoors, you can buy them online, or you can even DIY one. The minimum enclosure size for a rabbit is 4 feet by 2 feet. However, I still think that's kind of small. So if you do have that, I definitely recommend giving them lots of exercise time. So anyway, I hope you guys learned something from this video. If you have any questions, be sure to comment them down below and I will try to answer them soon. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you all very soon. Bye!